Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and so I was working on some like pockets, and this is like a, sorry, go this way. You flip it this way and there'll be a pocket here, and then you can write here and write here, and that's going to be a tag, and then this is going to be tags, multiple. So I just got a bunch of junk mail in the mail yesterday, you know, these big flyer things. So I just covered them and folded them and did different things with them. They were all different sizes and different. This was like a whole book. So you can see it's like a Signa flyer, and they're kind of glossy. But it had another side that folded out, and then the whole thing folded like this. Well, I just folded this one in, cut this piece off, and this piece is actually this tag. So that was that. And then this was just like a satellite, you know, for satellite dish or whatever, and it was like red and I don't know, crazy colors, and so I covered that entirely. So I thought we could just decorate it. I didn't do all the sewing or anything because I just wanted you guys to see that that's what those were made out of. And I'm going to make this into a little pocket, so I just stitched across here and across here because you know, once I stitch down these sides I can't stitch that part, and this will just be a little tuck this way. This is a coffee stained index card. And so I just took all different pieces of scraps that I had, from coffee stain paper to, like, this is some of that old graph paper, old book page, some straw paper, just all kinds of, this is actually from an old envelope, or not an old envelope, but a used envelope, the edge and that were kind of that burlap look. And on the back of this one I just did the coffee stain paper, just because I didn't know if it'll eventually get glued down or if it'll just go into a journal or what, because it's a fairly decent size. I mean, it's kind of a big pocket, so you'd have to have a pretty good size journal for that, because it's 5 3/4 by, if I could see it would help, just a little bit over 7 3/4. So, because I just folded it up, I didn't like do any specific sizes or anything like that. And then I tore the top off because it was even taller than that. It was a really long flyer thing. So anyway, I thought we could decorate that since I didn't get that far. And I just wanted you guys to see, if you're new to junk journaling, I mean, people have done loads of this kind of stuff because that's where the whole idea came from with junk journaling, is to use up like junk mail and garbage and just, you know, whatever, so that not so much stuff was being thrown away. Another use for all the envelopes and things that we get that we might just throw away. So that's how that all started. So if you're new to junk journaling, think about how you can reuse some paper products. And sorry that this was like a punch out, and I've had it for years, and it has all the little, you know, the little knobby things from where you punch it out of the original card. So, but I like this flower, so I thought that would be fun to use. And I'm just going to use all kinds of stuff, nothing really specific today. I don't even really totally have a plan. I just know that I like that there, so that's kind of what I'm going with. Maybe we'll put on a little napkin. I like this specific napkin. Kind of just want the brown flowers here. So, and I know it works good to use water on these to tear them, but you know, I didn't plan that far ahead, so just winging it. So I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Our weather has gone crazy. I don't even know. It was almost 90 degrees earlier in the week, and then now it's 40. So yeah, it's great. It's like, that's a big change, and you can definitely feel it when, you know, it was so warm and now it is not. So anyway, it's kind of a bummer. I guess it's going to go back to the way it was, but I'm just going to use some glue stick and put it right directly on here. And I'm basically just using up any glue stick that I have because all my good ones are gone. I have some more on order, but this Gorilla one isn't bad for stuff like this. It just isn't great for like making tags or something, because it makes everything wrinkle up too much. So I got some bad news a couple days ago. My friend Denise at Wondubar Crafts, her mom did pass away. So if you guys do watch her channel, or even if you don't, if you wouldn't mind just going over there, and like on the last video that she posted, that's why she hasn't posted a video in a while, because her mom's been sick. So just maybe pop over there and like and subscribe and, like, you know, tell her, give her some good wishes to maybe make, you know, her time a little bit happier. So it's very sad. And kind of, and the coming about of it was sudden, even though it's been like 3 weeks. It's just, she was fine. So yeah, just one of those ick things that happens, and a lot of us have been through it and can understand. So if you can relate, just send your wishes, good wishes, loving wishes, I guess you would say, not necessarily good, because it's hard to think they're good, but just loving wishes her way, because she probably needs it about now. So that's just a little piece of lace that I'm going to put up there, and I think I'll just put it directly on there and hang it up there a little bit. So yeah, that was not a great thing at all. She's just had a heck of a go lately, and I just feel real bad for her. It's just been lots of things, so that's why she hasn't been posting videos. But send her your love over at it's Wondubar. It's WONDUBAR Crafts, and I'll put a link when I'm finished with this video in the description box. So those of you that don't know, because I know that I have a lot of new subscribers, hi guys, thank you so much for subscribing. And if you're just not very familiar with YouTube, like you don't use it a lot or you're just new to it, right below the video there's a little arrow on the left hand side, or the right hand side, sorry, and you click on that and a box comes down, and it usually gives you like, it's a description box, so like the person who makes the video can post stuff in there or give you descriptions, just as it sounds, for, you know, things they used in the video, people they talked about, all those kind of things. So always check out the description box, because it will give you necessary information that you might not have known. So that's always handy. And this would look kind of cool up there. And I'll stitch these later. I'm not going to stitch them. I mean, I might stitch them and come back, but I just wanted you guys to see that they were legitimately junk mail. Because I know sometimes you get that stuff and you don't know what to do with it. So just try, I mean, the thing you can do with this stuff is fold it all different ways, glue it together different ways. If you like it, great. If you don't, throw it away, because it was going to get thrown away in the first place. So at least if you try to do something different with it, you know, that's a good thing. So just think of it that way. That, you know, don't worry if you do it wrong, because, or, you know, and who's to say it's wrong anyway, or you didn't like it. You can just toss it if it's not what you were thinking. So no worries there. It's going to go up there, and I am going to ink this a little bit. I didn't do any of that. I just was sitting and watching TV last night and gluing stuff together, so. It drives me crazy. I get so much of this junk all the time, and I just, oh, it's aggravating, because, you know, you don't ask for it, you don't want it, and they just keep sending it. So I guess if we can at least use some of it for something. I mean, it's a good weight, because it's not too thick, but it's not, you know, too thin either, so it's kind of a good weight for these pockets and things. Alright, so I don't think I need to do a ton more to that. Maybe like a doily or something that would look cool. That one didn't get cut out all the way. I was like, what's wrong with that? I don't want to cover up too much of this stuff, because I remember what I did. I printed some of these wrong, and so they ended up on the back too. That does look kind of cool though, that one. Yeah, maybe I'll do something like that. Yeah, I printed it wrong, and so I had to print it again on the other side, and I cut out the good side, obviously, and so on the backs of some of them there's, so it gets me confused because they look all wonky, because they are. And I'm not going to put glue on the entire piece because I'm not going to use the whole thing. It looks like this glue stick is already drying out, and I didn't leave it open or anything. So I'm not particularly impressed with those. I mean, they're probably fine for kid stuff, which is what they're intended for, but I wouldn't buy the Gorilla Glue ones again. Yeah, and then I was going to make those other things into tags. So let's figure out what we want to do with those. I don't know if I want that the front. Yeah, I guess so, because you can write on the back there. So that will probably end up being the front. The first thing I need to do is make it into a tag so I can get an idea. If I can find, I have a big fat mess, so I'm sure you're shocked. I'll just cut it, and then I don't know where I put my template. It's somewhere in the disaster. Just do the old trick of cut this side and flip it over and do the other side. My problem is always trying to maneuver it so that I can hold on to it and cut it at the same time. I watch like Rachel and Gail do that, and they make it look so simple, just like snip, snip. And I'll punch a hole, so I'm going to grab some of my hole things. It looks like they didn't get all the way inked. They're kind of weirdly inked. Must have had something in mind that I was doing. They almost look rusty. I've never done the rust dye, so it's not that. Let's see. That's a little thicker than just like cardstock, but it's really not that bad at all. I can get that in there, right? Oh, I got that one crooked. I'm going to have to put glue on it. My daughter had to get up really early this morning. She has to take the ACT, so she was a little stressed. I mean, she just doesn't want to, she just didn't really want to, that's what the problem was. I think she'll do fine, but, which I understand, it's summer and she's kind of done with the whole school thing for a bit. Got glue in there. So, yeah, she wasn't real thrilled this morning. I really don't like standardized testing. I don't feel like, as a teacher or a parent, I kind of feel like it doesn't give the best, you know, view of the child, because there's some kids that are really good at figuring out how to take those standardized tests, and a lot that are not, that are super good, intelligent students that, you know, I just don't feel that it gives a good show of their knowledge, so I don't know. Kind of have an issue with standardized testing, but colleges want it, so what do you do? It's kind of not really our choice. I just think it adds undue, you know, stress and stuff like that to some kids that have trouble with that kind of thing. I collaged this whole junk mail piece first, and then I ripped these edges, so they're pretty like feathery, or I don't know what to call it, but there's quite a bit of texture up there at the top, I guess I would say. And I just used, like I said, bookend pages, old book page, just loads of different scraps that I had in this bag, because it's just getting ridiculous. I'm like, I just need to use some of this stuff up, get it gone. Okay, so on this tag, let's see, I got these flowers are pretty, but ooh, that one's kind of cool. Really dark, like burgundy. I don't know, it's really pretty. I found those on Biodiversity Heritage Library. They're in the same stuff as all these kind of things. Oh, it was these ones with this darker edge on them. I don't know, that kind of cool on there too, but I like the flowers since we're kind of doing flowers on most of this. And these will go in my shop if you're interested. This stuff is weird. I like it, but it's just kind of weird. And I can't get it to tear the other way, which makes sense. It's all the way I don't know if you call it grain with fabric or what, but as I've explained, I'm no expert in all this fabric stuff. Just like to use it. It does fray really crazy though. Taffeta, I think, is what one of my subscribers said. But I do like the way it's kind of shiny, and it does fray really well. So that looks cool. And I will be stitching all the way around that. And a little piece of lace too. Maybe so. Just kind of like that, I think, would be good. And I'm going to cut that other piece into tags, because it's too tall for starters. So as you'll notice, I didn't do much of anything up here and down the middle, because that's probably where it will get cut. I'm trying to figure out what size I want. So that's 6. Yeah, that would work. 3-inch tags. So yeah, that worked great. And then, how tall is this? I kind of want these to be taller. I don't necessarily want them to be the exact same height, but how tall is this thing? Just get an idea. So if I cut, yeah, about like that, I think. For one, let's see. There is going to be stitching along the bottom, so that's going to change the height. That's going to change how far it sticks in there. So I'm going to take off just a tiny bit more on that one. Yeah, they're definitely thicker than just cardstock would be. And then this one I want a little bit shorter, a little bit taller than that one. So right about here, I think. Let's see. There's a kind of a big difference, but this tag is clearly a different size, so I could take just a tiny bit more off that one. Take it down to that next line. And I know you can't see very good when I just don't have enough room to show my whole cutter. That will work. And then we're going to use this as our base to cut our tags. It's kind of better to flip it over, even though I did it on the other side, just so you know you're getting the same side, or same size, that's what I'm trying to say, both times. That one's just a tiny bit wider. Must have measured wrong, but that's okay. because it's a tiny bit taller too. And you don't have to make these things perfect. It's just, you know, it's junk mail. It's junk journals. They're not meant to be totally perfect. So I think those are cool tags. And you can see I did that like pinching of the book page because it's so thin. It just pinches really nice. So that's what I did on the back there. So let me get this one glued together. And then we'll figure out what we want on the other ones. It's kind of a nice set of things. Nice tags, nice pocket. And because that's fabric and because I don't trust glue sticks entirely, I'm just going to put a little bit of wet glue just to make sure that they don't take off there. And this is going to go here. And I have to remember that I am going to be stitching. I was thinking of letting that hang off, but because I'm going to be stitching, I kind of think I'm going to turn it a little bit more and not have it hang off quite so much. And these flowers. Yeah. Okay. And I just have my glass. I don't know if, yeah, you can see it. Okay. Never can remember which things you can see and can't see. Just want to get all the edges of that because it's, you know, you don't want it getting snagged on the pocket. And I am going to put a little wet glue in the middle since I've got that fabric. Just want to make sure it doesn't come off. Let's go out there. Okay, that turned out pretty. And then let's figure out what we want on these. Yeesh. It's like taking these little strings stuck on me. That one's pretty too, but it's so similar in color. These are just random, all different kinds of flowers that I have. Oh, that's cool. Ay, yay, yay. I've got those strings stuck all over me. Iris is pretty. It's hard to decide on this stuff what to use. Oh, you know what? I've been wanting to use this one. I wonder if it'll fit. I like these birds and the little berries and stuff. It's just kind of cool. Oh, me and their tail hangs off. Tip it a little bit more, maybe? Yeah, that would work. I brought it because I could cut off those. That doesn't matter. And a little bit wouldn't be bad. That one's not like tall enough. And there's this one too. This is so dark. I can't pick it up. I just really like that. Those birds. So funny how you just get it in your head that that's what you're using regardless. Could do birds on there too. No, do I want to go away from the... Oh, I like that. That one has his tail like so curved up, he looks like he doesn't even have a tail. Birds instead? I don't know. Some of them are definitely not big enough, some are too big. Seems to be the story, right? I don't think that goes with my color scheme. That's the other thing I need to think about, is that, yeah, I think that'll work. Got itchy, like, allergy nose. Yeah, I kind of like that one better. I think I'm going to go with that bird, though. I just really like that one. Alright, let's get those inked up and figure out what we want to put with them. Going to dip it in the envelope, that would work well. I want to see these up here, so I think I'm going to move it down just a tad bit. And whatever hangs off, I'll just cut off. It's kind of fortuitous because this is a flat edge. That's the way it was on the paper that I cut it out of. And so it'll be nice to butt it up to the flat edge there. Yeah, my daughter, sorry, I'm still thinking about the ACT, but she plays cello and flute and is in band and orchestra and all that, and I really think she kind of wants to do something that has to do with those things. She just doesn't know what. And so a friend of mine called yesterday and was mentioning that she could do like music therapy, which has been suggested to her before, because she's a very empathetic person and she likes working with like kids and handicapped kids and stuff like that. So if any of you know of any jobs that go along with playing music, leave it in the comments just so that I can get some ideas for her, because she's not sure what field of study she wants to go into, because she also likes library and things like that. So I don't know what she will do. It's way gigantic. That's always the hard part, is trying to figure out, because I got a degree, a 4-year degree in psychology, and I don't feel like that was the best avenue. Because I didn't want to keep going, and you kind of have to in that field. So I kind of wish I would have had more guidance in that area of what to go into or what would have suited me, that type of thing. So I would like her to know about as many things as are out there as possible. Because people have some very interesting jobs. I've always found that fascinating, like how'd they figure out that was a thing, like you know, people that, I always thought the people who, like handwriting specialists and things like that, I always found that very interesting, and I never really knew much about that, because I probably would have liked doing something like that, or artistic, of course. That kind of has always been my wheelhouse, but that can often be a hard field to go into if you want to make a living. I think it's a tiny bit better now just because of all the graphic art and computers involved. I think that has helped a bit, but it's just hard to know what to go into. Trying to find something, I kind of want like a gold, you know what I need. That would be pretty. Sorry, I just have this giant bag of junk, basically. Mostly just scraps of pieces and things. Oh, there it is. Actually, I have multiple bags like that. There's this too, and I've used this. I like this stuff. It's kind of cool. It gives a little sparkle, but I think it looks neat even with the kind of rustic feel of this stuff. And I don't know why I chose to change to the black thread. I just wanted something different. I saw, I think it was Creative Cafe Girl, she was doing some black stitching and I kind of liked the way it looked. I hope it looks okay with all this. Just like to switch it up every once in a while. Okay, I think something like that will look kind of cool. Let's get those down. It was definitely handy making all that up already. Made it go a lot faster. Which is nice. And then when I put the glue on this flower, it will go through there too and help hold that down. So I need to stay on one side for glue, the other side for inking. Trying to force myself to do that so I don't end up with that big mess as bad. I mean, the glue always makes a mess, but put a little bit of wet glue on there too. And again, this will get stitched, so should be good. Good to go. I have this, and not that 15 has anything to do with anything, but I kind of like it, so I can ink it. I was making a birthday card for my son, so I ended up doing it differently, but I had this. And I kind of like the way it is. Just a funny little thing. Okay, that's done. Oh, you know what we need to do? The hole. That wants to come up on there. Now I don't know what I did with my little hole covers. I have such a mess. And I keep cleaning it up and it just ends up in a mess again. Make sure I get it in the middle here. Probably didn't get the middle, but you know, close enough. Just get this down and then I'll worry about the hole covers. I'll go stitch these and get those covered. And now you're still probably not going to see a whole lot of that because I put this, but at least this is see-through, so that kind of is okay. Yeah, you can still see it. Okay, and some glue on the birds. Now I just have to make sure we can place them on there so that we get as much of their tails, etc. as possible. I'm not going to worry so much about foliage or those types of things, because I really want more of the birds. I've got glue up there. And so anything that's hanging off is just going to get snipped. I don't really want to snip the fabric necessarily because that's not important, so I'm going to just kind of tuck it down, pull this back and figure out. Problem is it's moving. Of course it had to be that little like branch the way it was, and I'm bending this one. Okay. And I'll get those edges glued down better. They will get stitched too though, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Alright, let me poke the hole. Oh, it doesn't matter. All right, so I will stitch these things and then I will be back. Okay, hi, I'm back. So this is what it came out like. This is a little to from tag from Nick the Booksmith. I think it was her little scrappy package thing. I don't know, but anyway, that is where that came from. This, I just really liked the black because of the black stitching, and I'm not sure that I'll keep using black stitching because I'm not crazy about it. And I'm going to tell anybody right now, I'm not the best seamstress in the whole wide world. I can't ever seem to get it, I either get it too close to the edge or too far from the edge, and I don't know what that's about. But anyway, I like the way they came out. I just want to give you that forewarning of not perfection, but I kind of like it because it's that rusticy look. But if you want super straight, perfect stitching, you're probably not going to get it from me. Is all I'm saying. I just, like right there, I always have to fall off the edge somewhere or something. I don't know why. I know if you keep it in there straight, it'll sew straight. It's me, not the sewing machine. But anyway, I think they turned out pretty cool. I like them. Definitely different for me. I mean, I use black stitching. I've used it, especially like I did a Halloween journal and I used it in there quite a bit, but it just, you know, lends itself to that. But I generally don't do it on other stuff. So, and I'm not sure if I will keep doing it because I kind of like the lighter color, but I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. I don't know. It's just kind of one of those preference things, I think. So anyway, little pocket, and you can put something else in there. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to put that in there. I really like the black with the other black stitching, so that's what I'm putting in there. So yeah, just let me know if you guys like this idea. I think it was kind of fun. Use up a bunch of junk mail, and that's a fun little pocket to put in your journal. So I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.